And Bezalel made the ark of acacia wood. 2.5 cubits was its length, and 1.5 cubits its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. And he overlaid it with pure gold inside and outside, and made a rim of gold around it. And he cast 4 rings of gold for it on its 4 feet, and 2 rings were on the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. And he made poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the ark to carry the ark. And he made an expiation cover of pure gold. 2.5 cubits was its length, and 1.5 cubits its width. And he made 2 cherubim of gold, of beaten work he made them. At the 2 ends of the expiation cover, 1 cherub at the one end, and 1 cherub at the other end. Of one piece with the expiation cover he made the cherubim at its 2 ends. And the cherubim spread out their wings above the cover, covering the expiation cover with their wings, with their faces toward one another. The faces of the cherubim were toward the expiation cover. And he made the table of acacia wood. 2 cubits was its length, and 1 cubit its width, and 1.5 cubits its height. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and made a rim of gold around it. And he made a frame of handbreadth around it, and he made a rim of gold for its frame around it. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings on the 4 corners that were on its 4 feet. The rings were close to the frame as holders for the poles to carry the table. And he made the poles of acacia wood to carry the table, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the utensils which were to be upon the table, its plates and its cups and its bowls and its pitchers, with which to pour out drink offerings of pure gold. Oh, Jesus. And he made the lampstand of pure gold. He made the lampstand with its base and its shaft of beaten work, its cups and its calyxes, and its blossom buds were of one piece with it. And there were 6 branches going out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of one of its sides, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of its other side. 3 cups made like almond blossoms in one branch, a calyx and a blossom bud, and 3 cups made like almond blossoms in the other branch, a calyx and a blossom bud. So for the 6 branches going out of the lampstand, and on the lampstand were 4 cups made like almond blossoms, its calyxes and its blossom buds, and a calyx under 2 branches of one piece with it, and a calyx under 2 branches of one piece with it, and a calyx under 2 branches of one piece with it, for the 6 branches going out of it. Their calyxes and their branches were of one piece with it. All of it was one beaten work of pure gold. And he made it 7 lamps, and its tongs and its fire pans of pure gold. He made it of a talent of pure gold, and all its utensils. And he made the altar of incense of acacia wood. 1 cubit was its length, and 1 cubit its width, square, and 2 cubits its height. Its horns were of one piece with it. And he overlaid it with pure gold, its top and its sides around it, and its horns. And he made a rim of gold around it. And he made for it 2 golden rings under its rim, on its 2 sides, on its opposite sides, as holders for poles with which to carry it. And he made the poles of acacia wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil and the pure fragrant incense the work of a compounder. And he made the altar of burnt offering of acacia wood. 5 cubits was its length, and 5 cubits its width, square, and 3 cubits its height. And he made its horns upon its 4 corners. Its horns were of one piece with it, and he overlaid it with bronze. And he made all the utensils of the altar, the pots and the shovels and the basins the forks and the fire pans, all its utensils he made of bronze. He made a grating of network of bronze for the altar under its ledge, beneath the reaching halfway up. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grazing of bronze as holders for the poles. And he made the poles of acacia wood and overlaid them with bronze. And he put the poles into the rings on the sides of the altar with which to carry it. He made it hollow with boards. And he made the laver of bronze and its base of bronze from the mirrors of the serving women who served at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He made the court on the south side, southward. The hangings of the court were of fine twined linen, 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 sockets were of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their connecting rods were of silver. And on the north side, 100 cubits. Their 20 pillars and their 20 sockets were of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their connecting rods were of silver. And on the west side, there were hangings of 50 cubits with their 10 pillars and their 10 sockets. The hooks of the pillars and their connecting rods were of silver. And the width of the east side eastward was 50 cubits. The hangings for the one side of the gate were 15 cubits with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. Oh, Jesus. And so for the other side, on both sides of the gate of the court were hangings of 15 cubits with their 3 pillars and their 3 sockets. All the hangings around the court were of fine twined linen, and the sockets for the pillars were of bronze. The hooks of the pillars and their connecting rods were of silver, and the overlaying of their capitals was of silver. And all the pillars of the court were connected with silver. And the screen for the gate of the court was a work of an embroiderer of blue and purple and scarlet strands and fine twined linen. And 20 cubits was the length, and the height in the width was 5 cubits, corresponding to the hangings of the court. And their 4 pillars and their 4 sockets were of bronze. Their hooks were of silver, and the overlaying of their capitals and their connecting rods were of silver. And all the pegs of the tabernacle and of the court all around were of bronze. This is the sum of the things for the tabernacle of the testimony, as they were counted according to the commandment of Moses for the service of the Levites by the hand of Ithamar, the son of Aaron the priest, and Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah, made all that Jehovah commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab, the son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and a skillful workman, and an embroiderer in blue and in purple and in scarlet strands and in fine linen. All the gold that was used for the work in all the work of the sanctuary, even the gold of the wave offering, was 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver of those who were numbered of the assembly was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. A beka, a head, that is half a shekel. A beka, a head, that is half a shekel, according to the shekel of the sanctuary. For each one who was enrolled among their numbering, from 20 years old and upward, for 603,500 years, or 550 men. And the 100 talents of silver were for casting the sockets of the sanctuary and the sockets of the veil. 100 sockets for the 100 talents, a talent for a socket. And of the 1,775 shekels, he made hooks for the pillars, and overlaid their capitals, and made connecting rods for them. And the bronze of the wave offering was 70 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And with it he made the sockets for the entrance of the tent of meeting, and the bronze altar, and the bronze grating for it, and all the utensils of the altar, and the sockets around the court, and the sockets of the gate of the court, and all the pegs of the tabernacle, and all the pegs around the court. And from the blue and the purple and the scarlet strands, they made finely worked garments for ministering in the sanctuary, and made the holy garments for Aaron as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And Bezalel made the ephod of gold, of blue and purple and scarlet strands and fine twined linen. And they beat the gold into thin sheets and cut them into threads, to work into the blue and into the purple and into the scarlet strands and into the fine linen, the work of a skillful workman. They made shoulder pieces for it, joined to it. At the two edges it was joined. And the skillfully woven band which was on it for its fastening was of one piece with it, and like it in workmanship, of gold, of blue and purple and scarlet strands, and fine twined linen, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And they made the onyx stones enclosed in settings of gold, engraved with the engravings of a signet according to the names of the sons of Israel. And he put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod as stones of remembrance for the sons of Israel, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And he made the breastplate, the work of a skillful workman, like the work of the ephod, of gold, of blue and purple, and scarlet strands, and of fine twined linen. It was square. They made the breastplate doubled, a span its length, and a span its width when doubled. And they filled it with 4 rows of stones. The first row was a row of sardius, a topaz, and an emerald. And the second row a carbuncle, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row a jacinth, an agate, an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth row a chrysolite, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in settings of gold in their enclosures. And the stones were according to the names of the sons of Israel, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, each according to his name, for the 12 tribes. And they made on the breastplate twisted chains, a corded work of pure gold. And they made 2 settings of gold and 2 rings of gold, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 cords of gold in the 2 rings at the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 other ends of the 2 cords they put on the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod at the front of it. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate on its edge, which was toward the ephod on the inside. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the bottom of the 2 shoulder pieces of the ephod on the front of it, close to the place where it is joined, above the skillfully woven band of the ephod. And they bound the breastplate by its rings to the rings of the ephod with a cord of blue strands, that it might be upon the skillfully woven band of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not come loose from the ephod, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, all of blue strands, and the opening of the robe in its center like the opening of a coat of mail, with a binding edge around its opening so that it would not be torn. And they made on the hem of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet strands twined. And they made bells of pure gold and put the bells between the pomegranates on the hem of the robe all around, between the pomegranates, a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, on the hem of the robe all around, to minister in, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And they made the tunics of fine linen of woven work for Aaron and for his sons, and the turban of fine linen, and the headdresses of high hats of fine linen, and the linen trousers of fine twined linen, and the girding sash of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet strands, the work of an embroiderer, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote an inscription upon it, like the engravings of a signet, holiness to Jehovah. And they tied it to a cord, and they tied to it a cord of blue strands, to fasten it on the turban above, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Thus all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting was finished. And the children of Israel did according to all that Jehovah had commanded Moses, so they did. And they brought the tabernacle to Moses, the tent and all its furnishings, its clasps, its boards, its bars, and its pillars, and its sockets, and the covering of rams' skins dyed red, and the covering of porpoise skins, and the veil of the screen, the ark of the testimony and its poles, and the expiation cover, the table, all its utensils, and the bread of the presence, the pure lampstand, its lamps, even the lamps set in order, and all its utensils, and the oil for the light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, and the screen for the entrance of the tent, the bronze altar and its grating of bronze, its poles, and all its utensils, the laver and its base, the hangings of the court, its pillars and its sockets, and the screen for the gate of the court, its cords and its pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the tabernacle, for the tent of meeting, the finely worked garments for ministering in the sanctuary, the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments, oh Lord Jesus, and the garments of his sons for them to serve as priests, according to all that Jehovah had commanded Moses, so the children of Israel did all the work. And Moses saw the work, and there it was, they had done it, just as Jehovah had commanded it, had commanded, so they had done. And Moses blessed them. Then Jehovah spoke to Moses, saying, on the first day of the first month you shall raise up the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and you shall put the ark of the testimony there, and you shall screen the ark with the veil, and you shall bring in the tabernacle, and you shall bring in the table and arrange its setting, and you shall bring it in the lampstand and set up its lamps, and you shall put the golden altar for incense before the ark of the testimony, and set up the screen of the entrance of the tabernacle. And you shall put the altar of burnt offering before the entrance of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting. And you shall put the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water there. And you shall set up the court all around, and put up the screen of the gate of the court. And you shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and all that is in it, and sanctify it, and all its utensils, and it shall be holy. And you shall anoint the altar of burnt offering, and all its utensils, and sanctify the altar, and the altar shall be most holy. And you shall anoint the laver and its base, and sanctify it. And you shall bring Aaron and his sons near to the entrance of the tent of meeting, and wash them with water. And you shall put the holy garments upon Aaron, and you shall anoint him and sanctify him, that he may serve me as a priest. You shall also bring his sons near, and put tunics upon them. And you shall anoint them as you have anointed their father, that they may serve me as priests. and their anointing shall be to them for an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus Moses did, according to all that Jehovah had commanded him. So he did. And in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, the tabernacle was raised up. And Moses raised up the tabernacle and put down its sockets and set up its boards and put in its bars and raised up its pillars. And he spread the tent over the tabernacle and put the covering of the tent over it from above, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And then he took the testimony and put it into the ark, and he set the poles onto the ark and put the expiation cover upon the ark above it. And he brought the ark into the testimony and set up the veil for the screen and screened the ark of the testimony, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Then he put the table in the tent of meeting on the north side of the tabernacle outside the veil. And he arranged the bread in order upon it before Jehovah, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Then he put the lampstand in the tent of meeting opposite the table, on the south side of the tabernacle. And he set up the lamps before Jehovah, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Then he put the golden altar in the tent of meeting before the veil. And he burned fragrant incense on it, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Then he set up the screen of the entrance to the tabernacle. He also set the altar of burnt offering at the entrance of the tabernacle of the tent of meeting, and offered upon it the burnt offering and the meal offering, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And he set the laver between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water there for washing. And Moses and Aaron and his sons would wash their hands and their feet with water from it, whenever they went into the tent of meeting, and whenever they came near the altar, they washed, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. And he raised up the court all around the tabernacle and the altar, and put up the screen of the gate of the court. So Moses finished the work. Then the cloud covered the tent of meeting, and the glory of Jehovah filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter the tent of meeting, because the cloud settled on it, and the glory of Jehovah filled the tabernacle. And whenever the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Israel set out on all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, they did not set out until the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Jehovah was upon the tabernacle by day, and there was fire in it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel on all their journeys.